Hello. So, welcome to the Metabolic Mastery series. I am Ryan. I am your keto coach. I am a certified advocate through the Metabolic Terrain Institute of Health. And today we're talking about metabolic health. Specifically, I want to feature some of the gems that are in my guide and journal. And I want you to understand that your health is not just about a number on a scale. It's about having steady energy, about having balance throughout your body, and having that resilience so that you can handle the stresses that come your way so you can keep living your life. So, over the next few weeks, my plan is to walk you through some of the key aspects of metabolic mastery. And I'm going to give you a simple, actionable step pulled right from my journal that you can start and try right away so that you can start feeling and looking your absolute best. So I want you to think of this as your weekly coffee or tea talk with your accountability partner. Your accountability partner, that would be me. It'll be tea time for me because I'm recording this on Sundays, and on Sundays, it's my calm day. I don't usually need that, the buzz from the coffee. So this is going to be laid back. It's going to be relaxed, trying out this new format. So we'll see how that goes. And I do have slides. I have slides because perimenopause brain is a real thing. And if I don't keep myself on track, there is no telling where we'll end up today. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. So, what do I mean when I say metabolic health or metabolic mastery? So, what is that? So, here's the simple version. Metabolic health is how well your body uses energy. And when it's working right, you're going to have stable energy throughout the day. Your blood sugar will be stable. Your hormones are going to feel balanced. And your digestion is not giving you all kinds of drama. And you can handle stress without falling apart. And what most people miss is that when your metabolic health is off, it's not just about feeling tired or carrying a little extra weight, right? It affects everything. So poor blood sugar control can push you towards prediabetes, diabetes, and those conditions aren't just about sugar. They increase your risk of having heart disease, kidney problems, nerve damage, even cognitive decline. So even before diabetes shows up, if you have unstable blood sugar, you're going to experience things like, and this might be you, right? You might be thinking, yeah, this is happening to me right now. You might have mood swings. You might have brain fog. You might have energy crashes and all of these things can prevent you from showing up well in your relationships, at your job, and even the fun extra things that you do in your life, right? If you're not feeling your best, you can't live your best life. And I want to actually look at this through the lens of perimenopause because that's where I am right now, right? And I'm guessing many of you that are watching this are probably in the same phase of your life. And this is where all of this gets even more complicated because hormones, specifically estrogen, are deeply tied to your metabolic health. And when your estrogen declines, as it does, right, as we're entering perimenopause, menopause, it's going to change how your body stores fat. It's going to change how sensitive you are to your insulin that you produce. It's going to affect how well your mitochondria, which are the little batteries in our cells, right? It's going to affect how those function. And this is the time where we start noticing more belly fat, more fatigue. We have more issues with our blood sugar, and it's not fun. So my goal is to eventually go deeper into, the hormone aspect and the hormone health, because that's something that I'm actually studying and researching a lot more now because I'm going through it. And I think there is a deep connection between it, and we want to be able to explore that and find ways to ease some of the symptoms that many women experience during perimenopause. But that is going to be a whole separate chat. Right now, I just want you to see the bigger picture. I want you to see that metabolic health is not just about food, it's not just about your weight, right? That number on a scale. It's about your long term health, your energy, your quality of life. So, we're going to get into that today and give you some actionable steps that you can take starting today to begin working on that. Okay, so why mastery matters. And let me make this a little bit bigger because I feel like that will be better, right? Yeah. So mastery isn't about like breaking the rules, right? And then figuring out how to fix it later, right? So that's what diets are, right? We all have like, what's the best diet? What diet should I go on? It really isn't about that. And I know that I am your keto cousin, and I use and love low carb and ketogenic diets. But it really isn't about that or just that, right? It's about getting to a place where you really understand your body so deeply that the temptations, the old temptations, the things that we want to lean into when, I don't know, stress hits or celebrations arise, things that we do that aren't serving us don't even feel like options anymore. So I really know, like, I know what happens when I eat certain foods. It's not about the calories in the foods, it's not about the carbs. I know that if I eat like a big slice of cake with a bunch of sugar and flour and all of that, I know what's coming. I'm going to feel it in my belly. I'm going to have issues with my digestion. I'm going to be bloated. I'm going to have blood sugar spikes. When I eat sugar, a lot of sugar, I feel like crap. My head is foggy. And especially if it's late at night, I have horrible sleep. And then it kind of starts a cycle of cravings, right? So you have it one day and then you're like, oh, maybe I'll just have a little piece the next day. Or maybe I'll have, this treat or this snack. And it's a roller coaster ride that is not really a fun ride to be on. So the shift that comes when you are deep into mastery is that you stop seeing these foods as treats. You stop even craving things like a Snickers bar or that drive-through burger and fries because you know exactly what it's doing to your body and you already know how it makes you feel. So mastery is more about gaining clarity around your health. And what it doesn't mean is that you can't celebrate birthdays or special events, right? It just looks a lot different when you are tuned in, when you're honed in to your health. So instead of like grabbing whatever's in front of you, you're already thinking ahead. You already have like healthy swaps that you can make that will still make you feel special, but it's not going to derail how you feel. And I think that is what mastery is. You understand the assignment, right? You know what your body needs to support itself, and you know what's going to wreck it. And you're choosing what you decide to put in your body from a place of awareness and not a place of impulse. All right. So, we're going to be talking a lot about your why. Um, and I want to share something a little bit personal for me, my why. My why has changed. And why, of course, I mean, like, why do I do this? Why do I care about metabolic mastery? Right? Why are we doing this at all? And my why has changed over the course of the year. When I first started down this path of health, not when I first started, because when I first started, I went to a vegan diet, but that was more out of like prevention, right? And I was like, oh, this sounds like a really good thing to do. I've heard that the vegan diet is a good diet, it's a healthy diet. Let me try this out. But there was no necessity there, right? Um, but after many years of doing that diet and getting a pre-diabetes diagnosis, that became my why, right? It was trying to reverse that, wanting to be healthy and recognizing, like, I grew up with my grandmother. My grandmother and my grandparents raised me, and I watched my grandmother give herself insulin shots when I was, a little girl, and it terrified me. I was always very like, I thought that aging meant being sick, and it scared me that when I found out that I was pre-diabetic, that that's where I was going to end up. So once I was able to heal myself of the prediabetes and I overcame that hurdle, my why shifted, right? And my why shifted to more vanity, I think, maintaining my physique, but also wanting to have that energy because I had a small child at the time, right? My son was young and he was so full of energy and busy, busy, busy. And I wanted to be able to play with him, hang out with him, and be the best mom I could be. So that was my why. But now my why is quite different. So I'm not really good with these slides. I forget to click on them. Okay, there we go. So my why now is that I really just don't want to suffer through perimenopause, right? I've experienced the mood swings, um, the tender breasts, the cramps that completely knock you out, can't go anywhere, can't do anything, heavy bleeding, um, migraines, the night sweats, all of that, loss of libido, loss of energy. And I don't like it. I don't like it. And here's something I want to call out. Um, and I see it all the time online because now I'm in all the Facebook groups and trying to learn more about like what is this perimenopause that I didn't really hear a lot about. I just remember seeing like women fanning themselves a lot in church or just out in public, and I didn't really get it until now. I don't really have the hot flashes yet. Well, I'm not even going to say yet. I don't have the hot flashes, but I do have some of the other symptoms from time to time that pop up, and it's not cool, right? But I hear and I see in these groups women talking about it like you have to go through it and it's just like something that women experience. But I don't believe that. And I've heard women say that they have worked on this or worked on that, and they have kind of changed, halted, stopped, reversed these symptoms. And as I'm starting to do research, I'm recognizing that these symptoms are really not random. They are connected to how healthy your metabolism is, how stable your blood sugar is, how much inflammation we carry in our bodies. Oh boy, the inflammation is a whole story. How well you're sleeping, how balanced your hormones are. And that is my why. That's why metabolic mastery matters so much to me. Um, I recognize that the choices that we're making every day, the choices that we're making with the food, the movement, the sleep, getting our sunshine, really can change how we experience this period of our lives. So I just want to enjoy the rest of my 40s and my 50s with vitality. I want to not feel dragged down by whatever is going on. And I want to stay in the driver's seat. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to think about your why. This was my why, but yours may be different, right? Whatever it is, though, it has to be strong enough to carry you through your days. It can't be vanity because it doesn't work, right? Wanting to be skinny, wanting to fit into that bathing suit, it just doesn't work. It's not motivating enough. So, all right, hold on. I think I went the wrong way on my slides. My apologies. I'm still figuring this out. Here we go. So, your first step. So, here is where you are going to begin figuring out your why. And how I like to think about it is I have discipline is greater than motivation, is greater than willpower. So, your willpower is like your phone battery, right? At the start of the day, it's 100%. You're fresh, you're determined. You're saying, I'm going to eat well today. I'm just going to have salad. I'm not going to have any treats. There will be no ice cream today, right? And then as the day goes on, like the stress comes, the work hits, right? You're rushing, you're drained, just like the battery on your phone. You start the day at 100, but by the end of the day, your phone is hanging on for dear life at like 2%. And just like your phone, you are out of steam. You've held on, you've tried your best, but the day has come at you and you're done, right? So that's willpower. It drains, it fades. And motivation is not much better, right? Because some days we wake up and we're like, woo, I got this. I'm motivated. I'm going to do this. But some days we're not as motivated, right? Motivation is not dependable, but discipline, that's the one that's different, right? Discipline is what is going to keep you going even when your battery is dead, right? And the discipline is going to come from your why. When you're clear on the thing that you want the most, you want more energy, you want better sleep, you want to feel and look good in your body. Yeah, that's part of it too, right? That's what's going to carry you when your willpower and your motivation run out. And I know like having a migraine is no joke. I've been there. The idea that I could prevent that from happening, heavy periods, nightmare. The idea that I could prevent that from happening, there is not a chocolate cake in the world that I would want to eat, right? If I knew that I could eliminate some of these symptoms that I experience. So here's your challenge for the week. I want you to write down your why. Just one reason that has nothing to do with the scale. So this, I'm going to give you this, pull this out. I'm going to give you this page in my journal, right? It's about uncovering my why. And it says, list the physical challenges in the first column. So let me see if I can't make it any bigger, but you'll be able to see it because I'm going to give you this download. So you're going to list your physical challenges in the first column, and you're going to note how these affect various aspects of your life, such as finances, emotions, time. For example, if you list chronic fatigue in the first column, you want to mention the corresponding impact, like missing quality time with your child in the second. So what is the cost? So you can think about all of the different ailments, right? If I have migraines every other day or right before my period starts, I know that I'm probably not going to be able to go to work that day, right? And that's cutting out on my sick days or, preventing me from making money. So, what is the cost? The cost does not have to be, monetary. There are other costs. It could be missing out on experiences with your friends and family. It could be not being able to pursue your passions, your hobbies. So you want to think about that. It could make you depressed, right? Feeling down. Um, so your action step for this week is to write down your why. So it's actually 2 pages to this. Your why is going to be on the second page. And once you've completed it, you want to put it somewhere where you'll see it every day. It could be on your mirror, a fridge. You can keep the planner pages on your desk, whatever works for you. And let that be your anchor when you feel like giving up. So I've pulled out, as I mentioned, the Uncovering My Why worksheets straight from my journal, and it's free. I've linked it. I will be linking it down below once this is published. And I've also dropped the link for my journal if you want to go all in and get started on anything this week with your health. This is going to walk you through everything that you need to upgrade your health in terms of your diet, your sleep, your stress levels, and so on. So you can check that out if you're interested as well. And if you want to keep going with me on this journey, subscribe so that you won't miss next week's coffee/tea chat. And next week, we're going to dive into the food, the fasting. Ultimately, we'll get to digestion. And we're going to look at this all through a lens of hormonal health. So stay tuned. You're going to get these practical tips and steps. We're going to go through this journey together. All right. So thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.